Someone tried to embarrass you. Maybe it happened in front of people you care about. Maybe it happened at work, in a group chat, at a family table, in a room full of people watching to see how you would react. And in that moment, your heart dropped, your face got hot, your mind went blank. You wanted to say the perfect thing, but nothing came out. Or worse, something came out that you regret. And now, days later, you are still replaying it, still thinking about what you should have said, still angry at yourself for not handling it better. Here is what nobody told you. The way you have been taught to respond to embarrassment has been setting you up to lose, every single time. Not because you are weak, not because you are slow, but because nobody ever showed you what the smartest people actually do in those moments. And here is the twist that will change everything. The person who tried to embarrass you handed you something powerful, something that, once you learn how to use it, will make you untouchable in every room you walk into. They just do not know they gave it to you yet. Stay with me. Every single step in this video matters, because by the time it ends, you will never look at embarrassment the same way again. When someone tries to embarrass you in front of others, what are they actually doing? Think about it like this. Imagine a small child in a classroom who knocks over another kid's drawing, not by accident, on purpose, then looks around to see if people laugh. That child is not powerful. That child is scared. Scared of being unseen. Scared that nobody will notice them unless they make someone else look smaller. Scared that if they do not create noise, nobody will know they exist. Adults do the exact same thing, just with fancier words and better timing. The person who called you out in the meeting did not do it because you were wrong. They did it because your presence made them feel something uncomfortable. Maybe you were doing well. Maybe people were listening to you more than them. Maybe you said something that made the room shift, and they felt invisible for a second, and they could not stand it. Maybe just existing the way you exist threatened something fragile inside them. Embarrassment is almost never about the person being embarrassed. It is almost always about the person doing the embarrassing. Read that again. Sit with it. Because once you understand that, once you really get it deep in your chest, something shifts inside you. You stop taking it so personally. You stop shrinking. You stop running the moment back, wondering what was wrong with you. You start seeing it clearly for exactly what it is. An attack from someone who is quietly afraid of you. And afraid people are not your problem. They are not your mirror, and they are definitely not your judge. That understanding changes everything about how you respond. Here is the biggest mistake people make when someone embarrasses them. They react. The moment something sharp is thrown at them, they throw something sharp back, or they go completely silent and stare at the floor, or they laugh nervously to fill the space. All three feel like losing, and all three are losing. Because here is the truth about reacting. When you react fast, you react from your feelings, not from your mind. And your feelings in that moment are embarrassed, angry, flustered, and hurt. None of those are good advisors. None of those are thinking clearly. Think about what happens when you throw water on a grease fire. It explodes. The fire gets bigger, louder, and more dangerous. You thought you were putting it out, you made it worse. Reacting to embarrassment is the exact same thing. The crowd is not watching who threw the first fire. They are watching who loses control first. They are watching who comes apart at the seams. Do not be that person. The smartest move in the room is also the hardest one in the moment. Pause. Just pause. 1 breath, 2 seconds, maybe 3. Long enough for your chest to stop pounding. Long enough for your mind to catch up to your mouth. Not because you are frozen, not because nothing hit you, but because you are choosing. You are telling your brain, we are not doing this from a place of fear. We are doing this from a place of calm. Calm is not weakness. Calm is not surrender. Calm is the most powerful thing in any room. Think about every person you have ever respected under pressure. The leader who did not flinch when someone challenged them. The person who smiled when someone tried to rattle them publicly. The one who said something quiet and sharp that cut right through the noise and made everyone sit up a little straighter. They were not calm because nothing bothered them. They were calm because they had trained themselves not to perform their pain in public. That is the skill. That is the real work. That is what separates the people who walk out of hard rooms with more respect than they walked in with. You do not have to be fearless. Feeling the hit is human, but being slower than your feelings is a skill you can build, starting right now. Now here is where it gets interesting. Most people think the best response to embarrassment is a perfect comeback, something clever that shuts the person down so completely that they never try again, a single line so sharp it gets remembered and replayed. But here is what actually happens when you go that route. Even if your comeback is brilliant, you are now in a competition, a public one, and competitions have 2 players. By firing back, you have told the room that this person's opinion of you is worth a fight. It is not. The smartest thing you can do is say less than they expect. Because silence, used with intention, is not emptiness. It is pressure. It is weight. It is a message that lands harder than any word ever could. When someone says something designed to shrink you, and you look at them without flinching, let a small calm settle across your face, and then simply continue. You just won. Not loudly, not dramatically, but completely and permanently. You remove their power supply. Think about it like a bully who wants a reaction. The reaction is the entire point. The reaction is the reward. The reaction is the proof that the weapon worked. Take away the reward, and suddenly they are standing there in front of everyone, holding something that does not work, and everyone saw it not work. That is what saying less does. It does not signal fear. It does not signal weakness. It signals something much more dangerous. It signals that you are so secure, so certain of who you are, that their attempt to shake you did not even register as a real threat. Now, does this mean you never say anything at all? No. There are moments that require words. Moments where staying silent would look like agreement. Moments where one sentence is necessary. But when you speak like this. Short, calm, clear, without defending yourself, without explaining yourself in a panic, without stepping down to meet the level of the attack. Something like, interesting, we can come back to that. And then you turn and keep going. Not angry, not rushed, just unmoved. That one sentence does three things at once. It tells the room you noticed exactly what just happened. It tells the person who attacked you that it did not land the way they hoped. And it tells every single person watching that you are someone who does not come apart under pressure. That quiet, steady, unshakable reputation is worth more than any comeback you could ever craft in the moment. Here is the step that almost everyone skips, and it is the one that changes everything long term. The reason embarrassment has power over you is not just the moment itself. It is the soft spot underneath the moment, the open wound that was already there before they threw the stone. When someone says you are not smart enough, and it stings, ask yourself why it stings. When someone makes a joke about your job, your body, your choices, your money, and it lands somewhere deep, ask yourself honestly why it landed there. Because somewhere inside you, in a place you do not always look directly at, there is a fear that they might be a little bit right. Not because they are, but because you have not fully decided yet about yourself, about your worth, about what you believe you deserve in this world. And that uncertainty is the open door they walk through every single time. So the long game is this: close the door, not by pretending, not by forcing yourself to repeat words you do not believe yet, but by doing the real work every single day that builds something solid in the foundation of who you are. Finish the thing you keep putting off. Build the skill you have been meaning to build. Have the uncomfortable conversation you have been avoiding. Show up when everything inside you says, stay home. Follow through on the small private promises you make to yourself when nobody is watching. Every single time you do something hard and see it through, you are building evidence. You are collecting proof. You are constructing something inside yourself made from your own actions, your own consistency, your own choices. And that kind of proof nobody can take from you with words. Because here is the beautiful thing about confidence built from real action. It holds. When someone tries to embarrass you and you know who you are, not just hope it, but know it from what you have done and what you are building, their words change. They land on something solid instead of something soft. They bounce. You do not need a perfect life to get there. You just need to start collecting evidence. One hard thing done. One promise kept to yourself. One morning you chose better anyway. Build that day after day, and watch what happens to the people who used to shake you. They do not get smaller. You get bigger. And from up there, they look very, very small. Last step. And it wraps all of this together. Not everyone who tries to embarrass you deserves a chapter in your story. Some people do it because they are genuinely threatened by you. Some do it because they are carrying pain they have not dealt with, and spreading it is easier than feeling it. Some do it because they have never been held accountable and assumed you would fold like everyone else did. None of those people are operating from strength. Every single one of them is operating from fear, pain, or habit, and none of those deserve your full reaction. Here is the rule that changes the way you move through the world. You do not owe your reaction to everyone who demands it. Your composure is not laziness. Your stillness is not weakness. Your quiet is not permission for them to continue. It is you making a clear, deliberate, powerful decision. This person, this moment, this small, cheap, transparent attempt to make me feel less than I am, does not deserve the full force of who I am becoming. Save that energy. Protect it the way you protect everything that is genuinely valuable to you. Reserve it for the people who love you honestly, for the work that is actually moving you forward, for the goals you are still working toward. The people who tried to embarrass you, let them wonder. Let them wonder why it did not work this time. Let them wonder what shifted in you. Let them see you still standing, still building, still walking forward like you were never touched at all. That kind of quiet strength, the kind that does not need an audience, does not need applause, and does not need to announce itself to the room, that is the most powerful thing you can build inside yourself. Not because it hurts them, but because it completely frees you. Someone tried to embarrass you. Maybe recently. Maybe so long ago the face is blurry, but the feeling is still sharp. Maybe so many times you lost count somewhere along the way. And it left something behind. A mark. A hesitation. A quiet voice that second-guesses you before you even open your mouth in certain rooms. But here is what that mark does not mean. It does not mean you are weaker than the person who made it. It does not mean what they said had any truth in it. And it does not mean you have to keep carrying it one more day. Feel what you felt. Let it be real. Give it the space it needs. And then make the choice. Stop reacting from the wound. Respond from the version of yourself you are building. Say less than they expect, and mean every quiet, unbothered second of it. Build something inside yourself so solid that words slide right off. Not because you stopped feeling, but because you finally stopped needing their opinion of you to match your opinion of yourself. Choose who gets access to your reaction, because that access is rare and valuable, and most people have not come close to earning it. And let go of the moment, not because what happened did not matter, but because you refuse to stay frozen in a moment that someone else created for you. You are not what they tried to make you look like in that room. You are what you choose to do the moment that room empties. And right now, you are still here, still watching, still choosing to grow, still building something better out of everything that was meant to break you. That tells me exactly who you are. Hit subscribe, because next week I am sharing something that goes even deeper. The real reason certain people keep targeting you specifically, and the one internal shift that makes you someone they simply cannot reach anymore. You do not want to miss that one. Now close this, take one step forward, and go show yourself exactly what you are made of.